So I guess Navlab, which launched its goal to apply like computer vision, sensors, and high-speed processing, that was created in like 1984. And I guess the first thing that was made was that it was called the interrogator or Terrogator. And it was like a six-wheeled refrigerator-style robot that had a top speed of a few miles per hour, and but it was also capable of avoiding obstacles. Then in like 1985, 86, we had Navlab 1, which was a Chevy van. It had a human or computer controlled, and they had the first one of the first scanning lasers that was called IRM laser. I guess it had a top speed of somewhere around maybe 20 miles per hour. It had 3 Sun workstations on it for computing. It had a 20 kilowatt onboard generator. We're talking 20 kilowatts. I mean, that's a tremendous amount of power at that time. And then in 1986 to around 93, we had Navlab 2 and 4, which were like retrofitted U.S. Army Humvees. And they were used for rough terrain. Around 6 miles per hour they would go, and then highway speed maybe around 70 miles per hour. But in 1991, Congress authorized, I guess, around $650 million to be spent over the course of 6 years to develop a technology that would make driverless cars a reality. And that was in then in 1995, and this is kind of where I came on board on the No Hands Across America. I don't know if you remember the Hands Across America, where everybody joined, but this was called the No Hands Across America. And that was Navlab 5, which was a Pontiac transport. It traveled from Pittsburgh to San Diego with no hands. And that was around 98% of the time, which was hands-free. Then in 1997, which was the big automated highway system demo, that one, which was sponsored by, I guess Darpa was in on that, but that was mostly the it was Chuck Thorpe was ahead of that at that time, and that was the first attempt at large-scale automation, showcasing adaptive cruise control, automated lane keeping, obstacle detection, braking, and lane changing. And that took place in San Diego, California, on about a 7-mile stretch of I-15. They demonstrated like embedded magnets in the concrete, radar reflective tape, and a variety of vision-based systems. Carnegie Mellon, their vehicles were called the free agent demo, and that was due to the fact that we did not need any existing infrastructure for that vehicle to perform. We demonstrated 2 sedans, 1 minivan, and 2 transit buses, all working in concert with each other, to the United States Secretary of Transportation at that time, which was Rodney Slater. Then in 1998, there was we went to Houston, Texas, which we did a transit bus demo on that, which was a rear-end collision detection system. 2002, we retrofitted a research in another transit bus in Pittsburgh for side collision warning systems. 2004 was the big Darpa Grand Challenge. And that's where CMU's Red Team and their vehicle and another vehicle, the Sandstorm, went the longest distance at that time, which was about 7 miles of the 150-mile trip in the Mojave Desert, which there was 21 qualifying teams. And again, like I said, CMU had went the furthest at 7 miles. That was in 2004. Then, since that didn't pan out because no one went further than 7 miles, they did the Darpa Challenge 2, which was in 2005. They had CMU had Sandstorm and Highlander, which entered and took top places of that in that challenge, and they were out of 195 initial entrants, and that was for 132 miles through the Mojave Desert at that time. So they completed the full 132 miles. Then in 2007 was the Urban Grand Challenge. And that's where CMU had the Boss, which was a retrofitted Chevy Tahoe, which won the Darpa Urban Grand Challenge. And that was out of 11 finalists. We took top honors. And that was outmaneuvering other vehicles on a 55-mile course at George's Air Force Base in Victorville, California. Then we come around 2012, we have Navlab 11, which performed a virtual valet demo, and that was to park and retrieve your vehicle remotely. Then 2013, CMU has that self-driving Cadillac, the SRX, and that avoided pedestrians and cyclists, took on ramps and merged, recognized and observed traffic lights at that time, and it looked like just any other Cadillac at that point, where all the previous vehicles they looked like research vehicles. And they did a demonstration around 2013 to Congressman Bill Schuster, which was the chairman of the House Transportation Committee, and that was from like Cranberry to Pittsburgh Airport, fully autonomous, and that was around, I guess, a 33-mile trip. I guess, as you can see, so Navlab and Robotics Institute we have a rich history and innovation in contributions to automated research, but a few of the notables in that field have come to mind. And I guess, you know, it'd be remiss if we didn't talk, it was Chuck Thorpe, Red Whitaker, Tony Stentz, Takeo Kanata, Marshall Hubert, and John Bears are kind of the pioneers on all this. So that's kind of my take on what's happened during all those years. I mean, it's been great to be a part of that.